how you can prevent the spread of a dangerous disease at 11 tonight.
CBS, welcome home.
48 hours, we take you there. A wildfire raging out of control.
We have uncontrolled fire running to the east.
This small town in danger.
A little nervous.
Prepare for the worst and hope for the best.
These brave firefighters are the last line of defense. Holly is putting her life on the line.
It's unbelievable.
And Steve is fighting fire with fire.
It's going to be hotter than hell.
Can these heroes save this town?
Here it comes.
Bill Lagatuda takes you into the line of fire with the hot shot. Plus, think you take a lot of heat in your job? This man works and lives on an active volcano. Susan Spencer takes you there to find out why.
Yeah, it's hot, isn't it?
It's very hot.
It will just burn your eyebrows off.
You'll have to see it to believe it. In the line of fire, real life drama. And they were separated at birth, adopted and raised by different families. But these identical twins have an amazing secret.
It's in the blood. It's got blood, genes.
If your kids share that genetic secret, it could change their lives forever. Plus, if you're looking for a job that's not at all dangerous,
I'm the sign guy.
Bill Geist points you in the right direction.
Whoa.
Dial 118, please.
I'm Dan Rather, and this is 48 Hours. Fire. Fire is unpredictable, frightening, and often deadly. Good evening. At this training center, firefighters are practicing to save lives. What kind of person puts his or her own life on the line to save others? Tonight, you'll meet some of them. We take you to the small town of Piru, California, a town threatened with destruction. Committed to saving it is a daring group of firefighters. Heroes, really. You'll also meet the people they're trying to help. Ruth Newhall, a widow and 25-year resident. Newcomers Greg Hoover and Dee Dee Hurst and their new baby girl. And Julie Lovelace, desperate to save the family ranch. As Bill Lagatuda shows us, all of their lives are about to be changed forever during 48 hours in the line of fire.
We have uncontrolled fire running to the east toward Piru Lake. Be real careful because of the heat.
It will burn you.
In just 2 days, this fire in California's Los Padres National Forest has burned 10,000 acres with flames 100 feet high. And now the town of Piru may be at risk.
We are prepared to evacuate Piru in the event the fire turns.
I'm a little nervous, and I've got to get to work.
It's more than the local fire departments can handle. They call in troops from all over the country.
Strike team 1002A, 103A, 001A.
I got it.
Hotshot crew.
Stay heads up for it.
At the heart of this whole operation are the men and women who fight fire inches from the flames. They're called hotshots, like the Lolo hotshots of Missoula, Montana.
They're the most highly trained, most experienced firefighters that we've got.
I have a respect for fire like no other respect that I have for anything.
It's dangerous work, for sure. During the times when it seems to be the most dangerous, for us it's the most fun.
It's unbelievable.
Steve Karkinen and Holly Maloney are in charge of the Lolos.
What are you, parents, big brothers, camp counselors, sergeants? How would you describe your relationship to these guys?
Everything that you described, all of that and more.
Steve has been doing this for 8 years, Holly for 11.
It's being outside, working with a great group of people that are very adventurous, and the teamwork is amazing.
Guys, let's go ahead and load the gear on the back of this truck.
Like most hotshot crews, the Lolos are inseparable.
We're one big family, 20 people.
Hey, all right.
Indeed, they are bound by something beyond words.
Oh, that's hot.
I don't know for sure what we're getting into yet. Trying to sort out what the priorities are on the fire right now.
While the Lolos get ready, a team of experts maps out a plan of attack. Sue Hasari's job is to predict just what this fire will do next.
You're a fire behaviorist.
Right.
Which means that you've got to get inside the mind of the fire and predict what it's going to do.
Yeah, that's the task at hand.
What's this fire thinking right now?
This fire has plenty of fuel ahead of it. The conditions for burning are favorable for that to continue, and it's headed that way.
And that could put the small town of Piru in the path of an inferno.
I wonder if these people back here have left you.
Yeah, all it has to do is jump down that hill right there, and then it's, it's close. It's right there.
Greg and Dee Dee Hurst just moved to Piru with their newborn.
So, I'm nervous.
The Lolos will be staking out a position up on the ridges between the fire and the houses.
It's going to be hotter than hell. Make sure you have a lot of water.
With only 3 hours sleep,
Are you ready?
After a late-night arrival from Missoula, Montana, the Lolo hotshots are off on what's considered a light assignment.
Oh, did you? Yeah. Okay. What we'll do is hike up the road system to there.
With 50 pounds of gear on their backs, they hike uphill
Don't get hung up there, Don.
for hours in the blazing heat, and then they go to work.
What the hotshot crew is going to do is start from this spot right here and cut handline up this ridge.
If the fire heads toward Piru, this line, this swath of no man's land where there is nothing left to burn, should stop it dead in its tracks.
It's not going to be the easiest job in the world.
This will give you a pretty good idea of what the hotshot crew is up against. A whole mountainside full of this, sage and chaparral, as thick as a wall, chest high, and ready to burn in a flash. A half hour or so from now, though, all of this will be gone. A path will be cut 12 feet wide, right down to the bare earth.
Tell me what you're doing.
Sweating.
While the Lolos clear their line, the fire seems to be getting closer and closer to Piru.
I'm just going to have an assumption the fire's going to hit the town, so let's prepare for it.
You've already packed, so you're already preparing to leave?
Ruth Newhall, a widow, is worried about her 100-year-old home.
I love my house. Who wants their house to burn down?
By now, it's more than 120 degrees.
So, Tim, give me an idea of what it's like doing what you just finished doing.
Well, pretty close to hell.
Pretty close. After hours of cutting and scraping, the hotshots get some bad news.
Yeah, I got that.
Somebody back at base camp made a reconnaissance error. They're told the line is in the wrong place.
Turns out that we have to relocate our line.
You mean that hand line that you spent all that time this morning digging?
We spent most of the day digging.
Is now...
is no good.
Does it bother you that you did all that work?
Happens all the time.
All the time? Is that frustrating?
It's frustrating for about 5 minutes, and then it's on to the next one.
At the end of the day, the Lolo hotshots are among the unsung heroes of the firefight, literally doing the dirty work.
We drive ourselves pretty hard.
It can be pretty rough, but that's what we're here for.
Not many other jobs where you can get quite as hot and sweaty in a day and just feel good at the end of it.
The rewards are basically theirs alone. They are not in an environment where people stand up and applaud.
But the line they dug may be the line in the sand between the now 14,000-acre fire and Piru, population 1,500.
So it's moving. Looks like towards his way some.
There are many things people can do. Get that garden hose up there, wet down your roof.
Prepare for the worst and hope for the best.
That's Sheriff Rhett Searcy's motto.
Let's go see if they're home.
When it comes to looking after the people of Piru.
We're just passing out some tips, do's, don'ts, what you might need, what you don't need.
We can go up in here to all the houses.
Right.
I noticed it's closer, so it's kind of spooky.
It's a family operation.
Julie Lovelace is worried about her family's ranch.
3 generations. My grandpa started it. I've been here all my life in this canyon raising cattle, and just the way it goes.
Look at the flame in there.
But it's scary stuff.
Yeah.
So let's keep our fingers crossed that it doesn't come down.
Yeah.
But it's not looking good.
By now, all eyes are on the darkening skies over Piru, and the night shift is on watch. Another hotshot crew is holding back the flames tonight, while Piru watches and waits.
The fire has shifted. Very, very typical of fire. It was burning away from Piru, and all of a sudden it turns around here and comes back towards Piru.
Can they keep the fire at bay until Steve and Holly and the Lolos return tomorrow?
Fire is unpredictable. Here it comes.
That's next when 48 Hours continues.
Also ahead,
Can you see the lava from there?
I can't keep my face toward it that long.
he's living on the edge of an erupting volcano.
This is shake, chandelier moves.
Find out why. Inside one man's inferno.
Vroom, vroom! Hey, Mom! Honk, honk!
Can I help you?
Crispy strips, please. Spicy and regular.
Right away.
When you're on the go, head to KFC for the Colonel's Crispy Strips and Spicy Buffalo Crispy Strips.
Thanks, miss.
Boneless all-white meat chicken, good anytime, anywhere.
She forgot the honey mustard sauce. She must be new.
Now get 3 crispy strips, 2 sides, and a biscuit in this month's $2.99 to-go meal.
A bagel for breakfast. What could be better? Well, you could do a lot better with Total. Just one bowl of Total gives you 100% of the iron you need every day. A bagel, only 20%. Total gives you 100% of the vitamin E you need. A bagel, none. Total has 100% of 10 essential vitamins and minerals. Compared to that, a bagel is a little flat. So get 100% with Total Raisin Bran, Total Cornflakes, and get the total effect.
Is there a real estate professional who can give me answers to tough financial questions?
Your local ERA real estate professional has the answers you're looking for. Answers to even the toughest financial questions. You'll find them in this fact-filled ERA Answers book, with answers about adjustable versus fixed mortgages, down payments, closing costs, points, and dozens of other financial questions many people find baffling. So if you're ready to buy or sell, call now for your free copy. ERA Real Estate. We're selling houses.
The feel of smart design is the feel of flexibility. Schick Tracer FX is the only razor that flexes to cover every sensitive curve. A design so smart, you can feel it. Schick, the feel of smart design.
I know a place.
This is not a country for wimps. We invented the cowboy, the jawbreaker, and the quarterback blitz.
I'll take you there.
We are rough on our cars. So get a Chevy Malibu. It'll go up to 100,000 miles before its first scheduled tune-up. Transmission fluid, 100,000 miles. Engine coolant, 5 years or 150,000 miles. We're talking the automotive equivalent of Rocky Balboa. The car you knew America could build. The Chevy Malibu.
I'll take you there.
CBS 60-Minute Man Mike Wallace tonight on Dave.
It's been more than 30 years since America saw them like this. Sunday on 60 Minutes, the Kennedys talk about what went right and what went wrong in the intervening years.
During the night, the fire continued to burn. Another 5,000 acres had been destroyed by morning.
What would happen if we didn't stop these fires?
It would most likely burn a large number of houses and cattle, taking with it along the way probably a lot of the power for Southern California. So I would guess it would burn until, it'd probably burn until it rained. So sometime in October, November, December, and go a very long way.
By now, nearly 2,000 people are fighting this fire.
Let's chain it up.
One way or another.
Drip torch.
Fire shelters, goggles, safety glasses, helmets.
Is there anything you wish you had that you don't have?
Sleep.
So far, the cost of fighting the fire is $2.7 million, and that's just the beginning.
We'll be probably spending about $1 million a day starting tomorrow.
So far, only 6 miles of fire line are finished. That leaves 22 miles to go before this fire is contained.
Fire is more active than I thought it was going to be.
This was in the morning flight. Fire's to right here.
Finally, there's a break in the weather.
We started to see some cooler temperatures today.
That means it's time for what's called a burnout. The hotshot crews set their own small fires. So, by the time the main fire gets here, there's nothing left to burn, and it stops dead.
We're basically trying to fight fire with fire. Right now, we're burning this piece into another piece and trying to control it that way.
This is the Lolo's kind of firefight.
Lolo hotshot with...
For Steve Karkinen and Holly Maloney, today's assignment
moving back to the south
puts them right in the thick of it.
Radiant heat from that fire is still very high. It will burn you. The fuels respond very quickly to changes in wind, relative humidity, and temperature.
Don't let your guard down.
The Lolos prepare for the worst. Of course, from the Lolo's point of view, the worse it gets, the better it is.
Right on. We'll take care of that with just this.
Is this more fun doing this kind of work than the kind of stuff we were doing yesterday?
It is, yeah, it is. It's a rush. And people get excited when they, as soon as the flame is up the hill, you can see everybody get out, and out come the cameras.
Why?
It's like the goal is right there. It's right before you. So people get pretty excited when, we're right here. It's right in the action, the heat of things. There's a purpose to what they're doing all of a sudden.
What is it about fire that gets them going?
Your heart's going faster. Everything's, working faster. You feel like you need to get something done now.
A lot easier to control a fire that you light on your terms rather than trying to, deal with a raging wildfire. And it's fun.
What kind of person does it take to want to work around fire? And fire that's maybe as big as a mountainside? Well, I think there's a little bit of a pyromaniac in every one of us that's been doing this for any length of time. Is that people are so fascinated by fire. But couple that with the desire to be outdoors all the time in some remarkable places, I think is what really drives a lot of people's desire to do this job.
From a little kid, I remember looking at the Forest Service bunkhouses and going, "Oh, wouldn't that be cool to stay there?"
Tammy Hogeboom is one of 3 women with the Lolos.
I know, there's something about the whole community of it and being out in the woods.
The Lolo women lift, carry, and cut every bit as much as the men.
It's a very addictive job. What is it that brings you back to the job? It's all this.
Their enjoyment of the work makes up for a lot.
We're on 2-hour call 24 hours a day from the first part of June until the end of October.
A call means 21 days on the job.
That's probably one of the more difficult things for people on these type of crews because they are away from their kids and their wives for a long period of time. And that's hard. That is hard.
Like Holly and Steve, most of the Lolos are single.
Personally, I've been through a divorce, and this job is part of that. There's no question about it.
It is definitely the toughest part of the job, and that's why I say that this isn't for everyone.
I grabbed my pistol. Holly, do you have one of the cartridges?
To prepare for the firefight, the Lolos brush up on fire safety.
And of course, there's the drip torch. Don't stand in one spot and, lay a lot of fuel on the ground. If it's going to burn, it's going to burn and carry fire.
What kind of precautions do you have to take when you're working with this?
If they light next to themselves and they haven't planned their route, it's like an escape route, they can put fire around themselves. So.
That's not a good idea.
That's not a good idea.
The basic plan is we'll be firing from the back here, and we'll work it all the way down.
Now prepped and packed and eager to get to work, the hotshots are on their way.
We still have 6, 8, 10-foot flame lengths.
The time has come to break the news to the people of Piru.
The fire is starting to move.
The firefighters have no choice.
The best way to handle this fire is fight fire with fire.
Would that flame come in this way or this way?
They have to do a massive burnout or risk losing the town.
It's probably our last available option to hold the fire on Piru Road.
The people here know what that means. Controlled fires will burn up acres of ranch land. precious grazing land between Piru Road and the fire.
Some of the burning is going on right now.
That's my ranch.
Yeah, that would be late in the day.
Today?
Yeah.
Why come all the way to the road? Because we have a potential of jumping Piru Canyon there.
If we don't take that action, we could end up with a running fire at the road.
You could probably make a stand there instead of coming back down towards town.
For Julie Lovelace and her third-generation family ranch, it's the worst news possible.
I know it's tough for you guys, and I feel for you. And
We're gonna burn all the feed we've got.
I know, but there's really no option. Otherwise, we're just sitting on a time bomb.
I gotta go get some cattle out. I'm a little nervous, and I've gotta get to work.
And there's good reason to be nervous. Although a burnout is a controlled fire, all it takes to lose control of any fire is a shift in the wind.
It's coming up to the top of the ridge there.
So we're just going to hold our breath and hope the fire doesn't hit. And if it hits, we'll go ahead and evacuate the town of Piru. We'll go ahead and actually give the evacuation orders.
The firefight.
You loaded, Nick?
Next on 48 Hours.
I just hope we don't lose any village and nobody gets hurt.
But next.
If you're actually in the heat shimmer and it blows your way, it will burn your eyebrows off.
One man against nature's fury.
Anything exposed tends to get burned.
Trying to understand it.
Whoa!
Trying to survive.
And it is thrilling, darn it.
Look at that. Look at that.
I think American healthcare has a great future. I'm Arthur Leibowitz, and I'm Chief Medical Officer for Aetna U.S. Healthcare. People should expect that their healthcare company will give them the opportunity to get the care that they need. When somebody has an Aetna U.S. Healthcare membership card in their wallet, they should feel secure. They should know that behind them is a company absolutely committed to make sure they get the best care. Quality of care is the most important thing to us.
Aetna U.S. Healthcare. You'll feel better with us.
Where is thought? Does thought improve if it's altered by another human's perspective? Is thought better if it is shared with many people? If thought is on paper, does thought become more real? Does thought then have a life of its own? Where is thought if it never leaves the thinker? Image Anywhere from Canon, the new paradigm for the digital workplace.
Son, you got to dig deep. You got to dig deep. Think back. Remember when you were 6 and we took you to McDonald's for your birthday party? All the kids, all the fun. All for you, son. For you. Remember that day, son? Remember when someone stole your fries, but we never found out who? Never found out.
It was him.
Did somebody say McDonald's?
People come into the kitchen and bath department and they need someone to design a kitchen for them.
There isn't anything that we can't build in the kitchen area.
Whatever you can find at a design studio, you're also going to find at Home Depot.
If you can dream it, they can design it and put it in for you.
Design your dream kitchen with Mills Pride cabinets. They're available in a wide range of colors, styles, and prices, and they're pre-drilled for easy assembly. You'll always find Mills Pride cabinets in stock at the guaranteed low price every day only at the Home Depot.
Data, statistics, stuff of instruments, gauges, and stopwatches. What if you were to buy a car strictly with your left brain? If that car was the new Mazda 626, your right brain would be handsomely rewarded. The all-new Mazda 626. Retooled, refined, reborn.
El Nino slammed the coast of Mexico last week, but how will it affect your weather this winter? Tomorrow, we'll investigate. Also, travel with Harry on a route where American history was made, where the cowboy was born. 2 great stories, 1 great broadcast. The CBS Evening News with Dan Rather.
Chuck Norris must face down his nightmare past.
Kept dreaming about the man that killed my parents.
To stop a murderer who's been terrorizing a child. Walker, CBS Saturday.
You feel almost like you're walking over a living thing. God, I can feel this. This is like a blast furnace.
You can feel the heat.
Whoa. Carl Thornburg dresses for work on the Kilauea volcano.
Anything exposed tends to get burned.
Wondering each day what nature has in store.
And
Your
you can see
boots
that-
are melting.
And it's hot enough to even burn the vibram there.
Like the hot shots, he works in a world of flames and heat.
We run into the same risks that firefighters run into.
Sure. But Thornburg is a scientist. Wait, there's red glowing beneath that. This looks like the moon.
Lava to the right of us, lava to the left of us. Looks like lava straight ahead of us.
He's studying a fire that man cannot put out.
We're on the coastal plain on the south flank of Kilauea volcano. The lava is erupting from the vent. It's feeding 6 miles all the way down here to the coast. And behind us, we can see where both to our left and off to our right, there are 2 ocean entries where lava is going into the sea and building new land.
This looks very smooth. Oh, I hear crackling noises. What's that?
Well, you can see the lava advancing. That's the surface cooling and cracking. This is more like almost like peanut butter, and the temperature is slightly lower. We're probably around, maybe down around 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit.
Inspired by a high school science teacher,
I'd like to get out here and see what's going on and how much things have changed.
Thornburg now works for the U.S. Geological Survey at the Hawaii Volcano Observatory, right on Kilauea.
This is the best studied volcano in the world.
Kilauea's east side has been erupting since 1983, consuming 181 homes in its path and providing Thornburg with a vast living laboratory.
We're listening to it, we're watching it, we're monitoring it in every way that we can.
It's running 24 hours a day, and I'll collect a minute's worth of images every 5 minutes.
It's mesmerizing. It's hard to, take your eyes off of it.
Yeah, even when you're looking at it all the time, yeah.
The video cameras,
Now here we can see volcanic tremor.
the seismographs, the microanalysis of rocks all help scientists anticipate what Kilauea and other volcanoes around the world just might do next. And that can help save lives.
So you put them all together and it amounts to a very well-studied volcano and one that we can predict.
And he has a personal stake in prediction.
It's a beautiful place to live.
Married with 4 kids, he and his family even live on Kilauea, just 200 yards from the edge of the main crater.
Yeah, I usually don't have to wait for the tremor alarms when things are happening, because here you can feel the magma moving up into the system, the dishes shake, chandelier moves.
As they did during the big eruption last spring.
When the
Yikes.
ground cracked, it got everybody out of bed.
I'll bet.
It got my sons out of bed, my wife out of bed, and we were out there looking at the glow and saying, time to go to work. The red stuff is probably around, at the surface, certainly higher than 1,000 degrees centigrade, probably closer to 1,100.
This is just steam.
No, that's
This
not
is-
just steam. That's
what is that?
nasty stuff. If it blows this way, you want to get your gas mask.
Okay.
Like quickly. It's extremely noxious. But if you didn't enjoy doing this, regardless whether you're a scientist or not, I suppose you wouldn't be here. And it is thrilling, darn it.
Look at that. Look at that. Thrilling indeed to stand at the edge of a crater watching rivers of lava, 180,000 gallons a minute, thundering through the earth.
You can feel the ground shaking now. What we're
is that?
feeling is the thumping of the lava. There's a tremendous volume of lava there, and it's basically shaking the whole system a little bit.
Has a thought ever crossed your mind? My God, am I completely crazy to be here?
I think the times when you think about that are, say you come back next week and the place that you and I are standing now isn't here anymore.
It's one thing to monitor Kilauea. It's quite something else again to actually reach down into a live lava tube beneath this desolate surface and bring up a molten sample of the stuff. But believe it or not, that's what Carl Thornburg is about to do.
Looks like I gotta go down about 3 or 4 meters. Can you see the lava from there?
I can't keep my face toward it that long.
Yeah, it's hot, isn't it?
It's very hot.
If you're actually in the heat shimmer and it blows your way, it will just burn your eyebrows off. The air temperature and the lava temperature is over 2,100 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, the hottest you can get to broil in your oven is about 5 or 550. Just figure how hot that must be.
It's not hard to figure. I can't hardly stand it.
I'm going to throw a steel cable with a hammerhead into the lava, and and retrieve a sample. So I'm just fishing for lava. Throw it over, retrieve a sample, immediately quench it in water because we don't want it to cool and crystallize. And then I can analyze it and determine its temperature by the glass composition. And that's what we call a geothermometer. Okay? Don't let the cable wrap around your foot. The lava will tug it and tug it hard, and it would pull you in with it.
You're not pretending to me that this isn't dangerous.
I don't think it's dangerous. I do it all the time. 1,
right,
2, 3. Okay, we're in. And then I'm going to get it out. I've got to do that quickly or I'll lose the cable. It's hot.
Whoa.
More water.
Now, is this a good sample?
It's a great sample.
This is a great sample.
This is a great sample.
Oh my God, careful.
And I'll pick it up. You get a glove on.
Oh, that's gorgeous. Wow. It's heavy. Each risky day's work brings Thornburr a little closer to understanding Kilauea. But he knows his place. Do you feel like you know this volcano?
I feel like the more I learn, the less I know. It's molten rock from deep within the earth. It's making it to the surface, and we're seeing our dynamic planet in action. It's spectacular.
For 5 days, firefighters have been doing battle in the Los Padres National Forest. Now, they're fighting fire with fire.
Right now, we're doing a burnout. We're trying to get a handle on this flank of the fire.
Coming up the use area at Piru. Hoping to keep the flames away from the nearby homes of Piru.
Oh, that's hot. Look at that red.
The Lolo hotshots are in their element now.
We're gonna start burning out this way up to the south.
Steve Karkinen leads the way.
Okay, go for it.
Basically what we've done is fired along the road, this area that's unburned between the road and the main fire, which is several thousand yards interior to the fire itself.
Yeah, it will work here, guarantee it.
Holly Maloney is on watch in case of emergency.
My primary role is to take care of those people, and that's really the most important thing to us.
It's hot as hell in this spot and smoky too, but the flames that they've set are going to burn up the hill away from us, even creating a wind of their own as they go. At least that's the hope.
If we had a wind shift where it was pushing fire down on us, then I would be very concerned about our location and want to step us back into a safety zone.
Can you tell me why you're wearing the ribbon?
This is just a reminder for me of the people that were at South Canyon, 6th of July, 1994. And I'll never forget that morning.
Well, fire officials say the blaze was all a tragic accident, born of high winds.
On that day, 14 firefighters were killed on a Colorado mountainside when the wind shifted and blew the flames right over them.
Always in the back of my mind, I'll think of those people, and it's just kind of a reminder, a reality check to me that this is serious business.
What about flames getting out of control, or do you pretty much have them under control when you're working with them?
You don't ever have them under control. It seems all it takes is a shift in the wind.
We're keeping a close eye on that column so that it doesn't spot across.
What worries them today is the possibility of spot fires, fires sparked by embers that blow away from the controlled fire.
Their smoke column is bending out a little bit more outside the perimeter of the fire. We don't want to throw a spot fire outside the perimeter that's been established.
A spot fire unnoticed 1 minute is a wildfire the next.
If we get any spotting,
Holly's job is to see that doesn't happen.
everybody's attention's on the big activity here, and our concern is that.
Oh, man. The wind is now doing just what they hoped it wouldn't do.
Come around this corner, the air is spinning.
Glowing embers back across their fire line into a tinderbox of brush.
Be heads up, there's some hot stuff falling out.
Is a spot? Dave.
A spot fire flares. The hot shots are down the hill to put it out in minutes.
The crew responded just like they were trained to.
In the end, their strategy to contain the fire is a success, and Piru is protected. In these hills once threatened, nothing but ashes remain.
I could never have asked for a better group of people than these.
Can you say definitively, as of tonight, there's no danger to the town of Piru?
Yeah, the town of Piru is out of danger.
Even though Piru was saved, Julie Lovelace lost part of her ranch.
I'm saying 2,000 acres. That's a lot of hay. Yeah, we're gonna survive. Got to.
We know that what we've done out here has been very worthwhile and has made a difference.
As Steve, Holly, and the Lolos head back to base, they take with them something they rarely get, a thank you.
They saved our house, our family. They just do a great job.
It's very hard to describe what peace is until you see something like this.
The kids even got together at Piru School and they did thank you letters and notes to let them know the good job that they did.
I think they did great.
Thank God we have all these people.
But we have trust in the firemen. Trusting God.
Very, very thankful that people want to become firefighters.
Watch your foot.
Mark and Jerry say they were born to fight fires.
The adrenaline's natural.
It's an adrenaline rush, it's a high. Two firefighters with an amazing secret.
We made Ripley's, believe it or not.
Still to come.
Whether your heart's set on that special color or there's room for discussion, trust the folks in the red vest. With over 1,000 Ace quality paint colors, they'll find the one that's just right for you. Because Ace is a place with the helpful hardware folks.
How can you turn this into this? With this, the unique filter in the Brita water filtration pitcher reduces lead and chlorine. Brita makes tap water wonderful.
1 minute Maalox.
In hospitals, speed counts. Fast-acting medicines, doctors rely on them. So when patients get heartburn, they get 1 minute Maalox, not Pepcid AC. Clinical studies prove Maalox starts to work on stomach acid in about 1 minute, while Pepcid AC could take over 45 minutes. Here, that's an eternity. 1 minute Maalox. Hospitals turn to it first. Shouldn't you?
For heartburn and acid indigestion, do what hospitals do. Count on 1 minute Maalox.
It's a job you can just sign up for. Bill Geis, still ahead. And next week on 48 Hours.
My husband had the affair.
I was the unfaithful one.
I had the affair, my husband had the affair.
It seems like it's everywhere.
The angel's saying, don't do it.
From the halls of power.
And the devil is saying, do it.
To the house on the corner.
Bored housewife, interested in a married man.
I was caught red-handed.
Is adultery
I went ballistic.
a forgivable sin?
There's no blind trust any longer.
They're suspicious.
You want to hear what happened last night?
Yeah, so tell me.
Okay.
Should you be?
He's a liar and he's a cheat.
As soon as she came in, she sat down. She looked the part.
Betrayed.
That's her.
Real life drama.
It's destroying me.
My world was shattered.
Next week.
Tonight on The Late Show, Dave mixes it up with the audience.
What about a beer from your guest?
Then mixes a stiff one for 60-Minute Man Mike Wallace. Plus, comic Kelly Monteith.
Yeah, when your hair turns gray, it turns gray everywhere.
So tonight, tap into Dave.
We get some beer nuts over here for Mr. Wallace.
Only on The Late Show.
Don Johnson's lost it.
And you are?
His memory and his witness.
Where are you?
Exactly where you left me.
An all-new Nash Bridges, CBS Friday. The address is CBS. Welcome home.
Tonight
memories of Bucks County's own James Michener. After refusing life-sustaining medical treatment, the best-selling author dies. We'll look back at his life and work. Then, saying goodbye to a local hero, friends and family salute the Chester County firemen who died in the line of duty. Plus, heeding the call, the Day of Atonement stretches into night for African Americans here and across the nation. And the River Wild, rescuers struggle to save a woman trapped in raging floodwater. It's dramatic video on News 3 at 11.
We've always looked at immediate savings on electricity as merely a beginning. But dig deeper. You'll find we'll soon combine energy, leading telecommunications, security systems, internet access, and more. All from one company that calls on years and years of experience. As we said, energy savings is only the beginning. Pico Energy Energy One. One powerful idea after another.
Here's my idea. I think Best Buy ought to get me in a Rolling Stones concert.
Rolling Stones!
We're here. I need to know where my seat is.
Front row, man.
Front row seat to the Stones. Now that's a great idea. Get the Rolling Stones Bridges to Babylon at Best Buy.
Something wicked this way comes.
From television to movies to Man of the Year, see how David Duchovny's swimming to success. David's Exercise Files on Hard Copy.
Tomorrow at 7:30.
Firefighters like the Lolo Hotshots and the scientists on Kilauea Volcano and these firemen practicing dangerous roof and skylight work behind me are just some of the people who can't seem to enjoy what they do unless they're putting their lives at risk. Maybe that's no accident. We'll examine with you why they do it in a moment. But first, meet another group of risk takers, troubleshooters of the highest order. They do their very best work when the pressure is the highest. Day breaks in Glenmora, Louisiana, to the deafening sound of danger.
This is a well control problem. It's a blowout.
The sound of a natural gas well out of control.
Well, on a scale of 1 to 10, this is probably about a 7 or 7.5.
For 7 days, James Tuppen and a team of Texas hellfighters,
You know, it's a pretty bad job.
have been fighting to make it stop.
It's pretty dangerous. It's making a lot of natural gas. It's also making some salt water, which is very hot, and it can scald you.
It all started when a piece of equipment called a blowout preventer cracked. Now, with highly flammable gas surging out in all directions, this is what even the smallest spark could ignite.
That's our biggest fear. Whenever it's blowing out oil or natural gas, then there's always a chance that it could catch on fire.
Everyone living within a mile and a half of the blowout
Scared to death. Scared to death.
has been evacuated, while Tuppen and his men work just inches from the blast.
This business is all about taking unacceptable risk and making them more acceptable.
This is a dangerous job with a colorful history. The company, now called Boots and Coots International Well Control, was started by the legendary Red Adair.
World-famous fighter of oil well fires.
There's probably not more than 10 to 15 men in the whole world that can cap any kind of a well and control any kind of a well control situation. It's just a handful.
Their biggest challenge came in Kuwait, putting out the oil field fires set by Saddam Hussein's troops at the end of the Gulf War.
Our company was there for 9 months. We capped about 250 wells. They gave us the most difficult wells because of our experience.
Tuppen is on the road as much as 6 months a year.
Not seeing your children sometimes on Christmas, on their birthdays. You miss a lot of their growing up. It's very difficult. but it's part of the job. They're all depending on us to get the well under control so they can come home. I mean, even the schools closed down. And so there's a lot riding on this one.
After 7 straight days,
Spend most of your time just getting the well ready to cap and moving all of the equipment out of the way.
all of the preparation comes down to this.
What we're trying to accomplish is to get to the problem, get to the wellhead.
They call it skidding the rig, cutting through the old equipment.
And after we expose the wellhead, we'll be able to cap it.
And sliding it off the well.
Working in there close is going to be the tedious, the miserable, and the dangerous part of what we do out here.
For 1 week, the gas and steam has spewed in every direction. But finally, the broken equipment is pulled away and the well is almost under control.
It's a lot safer than it was, but we still have one more critical operation, and that's capping it. After that, well, it's going to be kind of a walk in the park.
By nightfall, with all the new equipment in place, one simple task remains. And at last, there is peace.
Make us much quieter.
And quiet.
I love it. Now I can go home. It's been a long day.
Why do some people make danger their business?
Thrill seeker, risk taker.
Find out what it takes. Next.
Exit.
Here, honey, drink your orange juice. There you go.
Finally, in health news, the American Cancer Society reports that along with a healthy diet, drinking more Florida orange juice may actually reduce your risk of some cancers. Hey, how about that? Well, that's news up to the minute. Updates on the quarter hour. It's now 23 minutes past.
Your purchase of Florida orange juice makes possible a donation to the American Cancer Society.
If people shop elsewhere, they're literally throwing their money away.
They have all the designers I'm looking for.
Classic style for work, trendy clothes for hanging out. It's really, really great.
The prices are so much better here than in department stores.
It's fabulous.
They have everything here.
Everything.
We're shopping right now for high chair here.
Whenever I need linens, I know to go to Burlington Coat Factory.
Great value, wonderful quality.
And I love this place.
We've got the most, we're more than coats. Burlington Coat Factory.
Aren't there enough reasons in your life to talk to your doctor about Zocor? Call 1-800-MERC-75 for your free Zocor guide to healthy living. Zocor, be there.
I said no present. You won't believe what Gregory Hines is getting for his birthday.
If Whitney Houston jumped out of a cake, I wouldn't be mad at you.
The Gregory Hines Show, CBS Friday.
When you're a cop in Brooklyn South, the only thing more dangerous than protecting your partner
You do have a secret, don't you?
I'm no saint, Anne Marie.
is falling in love with him. Don't miss an all-new Brooklyn South, CBS Monday.
The address is CBS. Welcome home.
Mortgage, phone bill, electricity. Oh, look, $7 left in checking. Looks like tuna casserole for dinner.
Did you hear about this Enron plan? That could save a bunch on electricity.
Is this that pilot lottery thing?
No, it's for everybody on Pico. Enron will give you 20% off of your rate.
20%? How do they do that?
I don't know, but let's call.
You could save 20%. Find out how by calling 1-888-55-ENRON.
I hate tuna casserole.
Just paying the minimum on most credit cards could take you more than 30 years to pay them off.
I could still be paying for these when I'm 70.
If you're a homeowner, today's the day to call 1-800-CHAMPION.
And learn how you can have a zero credit card balance on your very next bill.
Today's the day to start saving hundreds of dollars a month with Champions Paid On Your Debt program.
Imagine a zero balance on your very next bill.
It can all begin today. No time like the present.
No day like today.
Can your bank help you today? When your bank says no, Champions says yes.
The facts about Jim McGreevey and taxes. As an assemblyman, Jim McGreevey voted to raise state taxes $2.8 billion. As mayor of Woodbridge, McGreevey raised property taxes 43%, even though state aid to Woodbridge is now 16% higher than it was when he took office. Now McGreevey says New Jersey should consider raising sales and income taxes again.
We can't afford Jim McGreevey's high tax philosophy. Let's keep our economy strong and keep New Jersey moving in the right direction.
Never before seen pictures of Diana and inside John Denver's funeral on ET.
It's not one of my favorite things to do, no.
3,000 miles away from the hot shots in Piru, California.
Hate mowing the lawn. If it was up to me, I'd pave it all.
Volunteer firemen Mark Newman and Jerry Levy are not exactly battling Mother Nature this morning.
Watch your foot!
They're just bickering with each other.
Will you stop?
Still, both agree fire is a far worthier opponent.
Fire is probably the fiercest and most unpredictable force in nature.
And firefighting is the love of their lives.
What's a rush? It's the adrenaline's natural. It's an adrenaline rush. It's a high.
What makes Jerry and Mark unique, though, is not what they do, but that both chose to do it.
We made Ripley's, believe it or not.
Mark and Jerry are identical twins.
Cut that out.
Separated at birth.
Live 16 miles apart. 65 miles apart.
And adopted by two different families.
Never even meeting them before. Our lives were the same. Our Sunday morning regime was the same. Three Stooges. Laurel and Hardy. John Wayne movies.
They finally met at age 31 when a fellow firefighter spotted Jerry and noticed an uncanny, if slightly slighter resemblance to Mark.
Oh, I wish I had. It's bought and paid for.
They discovered one similarity after another.
The first thing was our bald heads. Same double chin. Oh, mine's a triple. The way we walked. The way we drank a beer, the way we held our beer. Pinky underneath, always. Our mannerisms, the way we laughed.
So with all these things in common, it may not be a coincidence that Mark and Jerry both fight fire, or that both enjoy other things
whitewater rafting
that other people might consider scary.
It's in the blood. It's the blood, in the genes, wherever the doctors want to put it.
In fact, studies show that people who act fearlessly and take more chances could be genetically programmed that way. So the way we're wired at birth could have an influence on what we become. What do you want to do when you grow up, Nicholas?
I want to be an inventor and a teacher in outer space. I'm going to be a cowboy.
A cowboy?
I want to be a garbage man and a pilot man and a race car man.
Psychologists say a bold personality is evident almost immediately and can be seen simply in the way a child plays.
You can't be definitive about it, but you can definitely get some ideas if they're always exploring, fearless, pushing the envelope. You got a little T-type.
T-type. Psychologist Frank Farley of Temple University has traveled the world studying what he calls the T-type, or big T personality.
The type T personality is a thrill seeker, risk taker, excitement seeker, stimulation seeker, arousal seeker. They're motivated by things like variety, novelty, intensity, change, unpredictability, risk.
What determines this? Is it genetic?
The best evidence is that it's partly genetic and it's partly your upbringing and your experiences. So even though you might start off being influenced by your genes, the environment comes into play immediately.
The born risk-taker, Farley says, will turn up in any number of places.
Police officers, firemen.
Ready, set, exit.
All of the extreme sports.
Some are groundbreakers.
Einstein, Picasso, Winston Churchill.
Others, lawbreakers. But according to Farley, they all have something in common.
Anytime you're engaging in risk or uncertainty and you're in the realm of high creativity, you're a T-type in my view.
A description some say fits the Lolo hotshots to a T.
Maybe my mom named me Tim for a reason.
I'm going to be out of water pretty soon here.
It describes me pretty well. Yeah.
I always say that I would drown in still water. Our concern is that the water needs to be a little rough, some white water, turbulence around me.
I'm always looking for new things to do, and there's always something else that I haven't tried that I will.
So if facing this doesn't scare off a hotshot, what does?
I would think stuffing envelopes every day.
If you are a T-type and you go into a job where you don't have those things, uncertainty, variety, novelty, change, you're probably going to be very unhappy.
Can't stay still. I can't sit still.
I worked in a bank for a short period of time, and that was so hard for me.
Waiting tables. Absolutely hated it. Had a nervous breakdown trying to wait tables.
In fact, you might be stressed out.
So it's very important to recognize what your personality type is in finding a profession?
Absolutely. If you're a big T person, go for a big T job.
If I can't do this, just dig a hole right here and bury me. I love my fiance, firefighting, then motorcycle. If I can't have all three, or if one of them's gone, no sense in living.
There's times when I feel that I have lived and done more in my lifetime than most people ever do in the time that I've been here. I mean, what could possibly be next?
Putting a very different spin on career choices.
I don't know if there's a sillier job out there.
First, you have to get through human directional school.
Step, 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 punch, punch.
That's next with Bill Geist.
Sorry, back.
Up next, a possible breakthrough in the Amy Willard murder case. And where were you 10 years ago? Get an update on baby Jessica, the toddler who was stuck in a well while the nation watched. Next.
Plymouth Neon.
Harold.
Plymouth Greaves.
Sorry. Sit.
Oh, honey, that was a Plymouth Voyager. Plymouth Prowler.
Harold! He'll never learn.
The people who make Zantac would like you to know, if you've been taking prescription-strength Zantac, you may be able to take Zantac 75 to relieve your tough heartburn. As your doctor can tell you, Zantac 75 contains the same medicine as prescription-strength Zantac, and Zantac 75 is available over the counter. Ask your doctor if non-prescription strength Zantac 75 is right for you. Zantac 75.
Guilty pleasures are now good, including the steak dinner once taboo. A food revolution is going on. Are you part of it? Plus your latest weather.
That's tomorrow.
On This Morning.
Now, understandably, lots of folks would rather not put their lives on the line at work. If you prefer something less stressful, in tonight's 48 Seconds, perhaps Bill Geist can point you in the right direction.
With some jobs, you can lose your life. In California, they've invented one where all you lose is your dignity. They're called human directionals, and they're hired to attract motorists to new housing developments. This is skilled labor.
Up, step, step.
First, you have to get through human directional school.
Step, 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 punch, punch.
The weirdest thing about this job is that it seems to work.
They said that I was the reason why they had sold a couple houses.
You know, if a guy twirling a 7-foot sign can sell a house,
Buy a condo.
Think of the possibilities. Liver and onions.
No way. You're really gonna love this.
Liver, hot liver and onions.
No waiting. We can get you right in.
You tell him, son.
I'm Dan Rather, signing off, and that's 48 Hours. Now, here's a look at one of the stories we're working on for tomorrow night's CBS Evening News.
This is Harry Smith. El Nino slammed the coast of Mexico last week. How will it affect your weather this winter? Tomorrow, CBS News investigates. And we'll travel the trail where American history was made. Join us as we find out where the cowboy was born.
Tonight, joining Dave, 60 Minutes is Mike Wallace, rap star LL Cool J, and a whole lot more. Don't miss the fun following your local news, which is next.
Hi, I'm Larry Kane. Up next on News 3 tonight, best-selling and beloved author Bucks County's James Michener dies after refusing medical treatment. The Day of Atonement moves into night for local African Americans, and a woman fights for life on a flood-swollen river. It's a dramatic rescue. Next.
We've always looked at immediate savings on electricity as merely a beginning. But dig deeper. You'll find we'll soon combine energy, leading telecommunications, security systems, internet access, and more. All from one company that calls on years and years of experience. As we said, energy savings is only the beginning. Pico Energy Energy One. One powerful idea after another.
Well, if I had money to tell you what to do, I'd go downtown, buy a Ford truck or two, and crazy about a Ford truck.
There's 50 years of toughness in every new 98 F-150 truck. That's why Ford F-Series continues to be America's best-selling truck year after year, with more standard horsepower and payload than any other full-size pickup. F-150 remains the standard by which all other pickups are measured. It's no wonder there's more F-150s on the road than any other truck. See your Quality Plus Ford dealer today.
This is KYW